Well, Jane Ace was a little sad yesterday when she learned that she wouldn't have to write the daily installment for the story appearing in the Post, telling of the visit of Joyce Blaine, the movie actress. Neil Williams, Marge's boyfriend who works on the Post, is secretly ghostwriting the story for Jane. Our scene now is after dinner in the Ace's living room. Mr. Ace is reading the story now, and so is Marge. And the two are alone. Listen.
Well, I guess this kind of stuff makes good reading for movie fans. It must, or they wouldn't devote this much space to it every day. But as far as I'm concerned, it's a new high in lows.
Yes, it is a little maudlin.
A little maudlin.
Give Neil a subject like this, and he'll spread more adjectives to the square yard than any man I know.
Well, what gets me mad is this by Jane Ace at the top of the column. If anybody who knows her reads this column and could possibly think that she could write...
But Jane isn't acquainted with the entire circulation of the Post, so she says. Did she tell you that she'd been down to the paper to see Neil this afternoon?
Been to the paper? No, she didn't tell. What did she go there for?
I hate to tell this on her.
Well, what is it, Marge?
Well, she got the idea that she was supposed to write these daily installments and actually went to work writing the second one this morning.
She what?
Yes. She got as far as a couple of lines and came dashing down to Neil to let her use his typewriter. She said that the typewriter she had here wasn't working very well. That was the excuse she gave for not having written any more.
Well, where did she get the idea that she... Well, last night Neil explained it to her, how he would ghostwrite the whole thing.
Jane was so busy reading the first installment she didn't hear him. At least she didn't understand it that way, and it took most of Neil's afternoon to make her see what was going on.
Well, did he?
I believe so. You know, he's gotten orders from movie magazines and other publications for a lot of these articles, all to be signed by Jane. He explained that he'd write the stories and sign her name to it and split the money with her. She didn't like that at all at first.
Well, why not? Does she think she can write this stuff?
I don't know. Didn't she say anything to you about this at all?
No, this is the first time.
Well, I didn't want to mention it this evening at dinner because Neil said she was a little hurt for the whole thing and worried.
Worried? What about?
Well, she said that so many people had called her up to congratulate her and compliment her on the first story. She thought she ought to be the one writing them, as long as her name was signed to them and as long as people thought she was writing them.
Well, what did Neil say? Did he convince her?
Oh, he finally convinced her that it's no crime to have a ghostwriter. The best of them do it. And he said it wasn't necessary for everybody to know that she wasn't writing the stories. He said he'd never tell anybody and that nobody'd ever find out.
Oh, it's a secret then, huh?
Yes, I suppose he told her it would be a secret.
I wonder if she... No, she couldn't possibly.
What? What is it?
Well, I wonder if she thinks that we believe that she's actually writing these stories.
Jane? Oh, she couldn't.
Well, she certainly kept mum about the whole thing. She didn't mention going to Neil or that Neil told her that he... In fact, right after dinner, she asked me if I had read her second installment.
Yes, come to think of it, she asked me, too.
You think she's kidding us, too?
I wonder.
Neil said it would be a secret, their secret.
Oh, but she knows that we know she couldn't write this.
Well, just the same, she didn't mention anything about having gone to see Neil or that Neil had told her anything. All she said was that I read her second installment in tonight's paper.
Her second installment.
You like that? She thinks that she's got us believing she's a writer now of all things.
Well, now, don't spoil it for her.
No.
I mean, it's the only fun she's getting out of the whole thing, and after all, Neil did tell her to keep it quiet that she wasn't writing the story.
Yes, but Pete, I don't suppose he meant with us. Wouldn't we know that...
Hush, here she is.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is certainly some fancy story, isn't it, Marge?
Oh, yes,
You
yes.
have.
I just finished the second installment.
Oh, did you like it, Marge?
Why, it's swell, Jane. I didn't know you had it in you.
Well, thanks, Marge. Did you like it, dear?
Yes. I haven't quite finished it yet. I'm down to this paragraph starting, let me see. Joyce Blaine is a pulchritudinous bundle of femininity.
Oh, that.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I think you misspelled pulchritudinous, Jane.
Oh, did I? I guess I was having one of my bad spells today.
Oh, you wrote this installment today.
Oh, yes, this morning. You see, I have to write it early enough to give the boys in the composing room time to set up the type on the linotop machine so our first edition can be on the street by 4 o'clock. That's our deadline.
What was all that again, Jane?
Oh, newspaper talk. You wouldn't understand, dear.
I would.
Jane, where'd you get onto all this lingo?
Oh, I caught on pretty quick. After I wrote this story today, I had to take it down to the newspaper office.
Oh, I see. And while you were there, you...
Well, I had to know just what was going on, Marge. After all, if I'm going to write these stories every day, I have to know something about what's going on, don't I?
Yes, I suppose you do.
Yes, I suppose you... How do you like newspaper work, Jane?
Oh, so-and-so. It's work, I can tell you that. Do you know how many orders for stories they want me to write that Neil got?
No, how many?
Oh, a lot of them. Movie magazines and things like that. One magazine wants me to write it like a diary. Everything that happened every day that Joyce was here.
Oh, sort of chronologically.
Yeah, sort of, like a diary.
Oh.
Neil said we'd get a lot more orders for stories before we're through. We're going to make a lot of money out of this.
Oh, you are?
Oh, yes. And we're partners. 50-50, Neil said.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, now, wait. I don't think that's fair. If you're going to write all these stories, you're doing all the work, and Neil's collecting half for what?
For what? Well, he's the one that works on the paper.
Oh, what difference does that make? 50-50. Where does he get that stuff? Here, you're doing all the writing, and he gets half the money.
I think Ace is right, Jane. I'll speak to Neil about that.
No, now, don't speak to him about anything. We've already settled it.
Well, that's not settled with me.
Well, it is with us.
But, Jane, it's not right. It's not justice.
Well, it is with me.
Oh, no. The person who does the writing should get all the money.
I should say not. Why should he get... I should say not. We've already settled it this way. Now, don't start changing things.
But, Jane, if Neil did half the writing, I'd say he's entitled to half. Or even if he did a little of the writing,
Well, I might let him do a little of it.
Oh, you might, huh?
Well, yes. After all, he's a writer.
Two.
What?
I say he's a writer, too.
Yes, that's what I mean.
Yes, that's what I thought you meant.
Is there much money to be made, Jane? What are you getting paid for all this writing?
Well, the stories for the paper aren't so much, $10 a day, but for the magazines, they're much more. Why, one magazine, Neil said, it's going to pay us $150.
$150?
Now, wait a minute. I don't like that us, going to pay us. I don't see why Neil has to
Now,
horn
don't
in.
start that again, dear. I told you it's all settled that way. My goodness, if I don't mind giving Neil half, I don't see why you should.
Yes, but Jane...
Oh, now, Ace, don't argue with her. She hasn't got time to sit around arguing, have you, Jane?
No, I haven't got time to sit around arguing.
Of course not.
Of course not.
Why, right now, she's probably got to start on one of her magazine articles.
Why, right now, I've got to... What'd you say?
I say you probably have to get to work on one of those stories for the magazine.
Oh, well, not right this minute.
Oh, now, don't let us keep you from it, Jane. We'll be very quiet.
No, I don't want you to sit around not talking just for me.
Oh, we don't mind it, Jane. You go right ahead.
But it's no fun for you two to sit there watching me write.
Isn't it, though? Go ahead, Jane. After all, your work comes first, doesn't it?
Yes, but not this minute.
Oh.
What's the matter? Do you have to be in the mood?
No, but I don't feel like writing this minute. Besides, this typewriter is abdominal.
Oh, it
Well,
is.
it is. You should see the good one Neil writes on.
Yes, isn't that just like life? There's Neil, who isn't writing a thing, with a good typewriter, and you here with all his writing to be done with a dilapidated one. That's life for you.
Yes, isn't it the truth?
Yes, isn't it?
Yes, it's a great life if you don't waken.
Yes. Well, you can wake up now because there's nothing wrong with this typewriter.
Oh, yes, there is. I tried to write on this morning, and I had to quit and go down to Neil's office and use his... Now, dear, don't sit there and use the typewriter because I tried
I'll
it.
show you there's nothing wrong with it.
It's no use because I'm not going to spoil my manicure looking for those letters on that old
This
typewriter.
machine worked pretty well the last time I used it. I don't see why it shouldn't work for you.
Well, it needs oil or gas or something.
Now, let's see if there's anything wrong with it.
Well, that seems to be going all right.
Oh, sure, it works when you're not thinking.
Well, he looks like he's thinking.
Well, he's not writing a story for a magazine like I have
What's the
to.
matter with you, Jane? This works fine. Look. See? I don't see anything wrong here.
Yes, I guess he fixed it, James. Now, go ahead and settle down to your work, and I'll keep quiet, and I'll keep him quiet, too. Who knows, you might be able to write the whole magazine article at one sitting.
Well, I know for one. I told you I can't use that typewriter.
Oh, sure you can. Look at it go.
Oh, but you're not writing anything.
Oh, I'm not, huh? There. Now, it's all yours, Jane. Come on. Sit down. Sit right down and start writing your little...
Will you stop necking me? I'm not going to write anything now.
Well, why not, Jane? We won't disturb
Sure,
you.
go ahead. A good writer should be able to write anywhere, anytime. Now, if you want to prove how good you are, just sit right down and... Come on.
Oh, stop pulling me. I'll go.
Well, that's better.
I'll go, but you'll see the minute I start to use that typewriter, it doesn't work. It didn't work today. I told Neil, I said, our typewriter doesn't work, and he said I could use his.
Yes, I know. Now, you go right ahead. Sit right down. That's it. Now, we'll leave you alone.
Yes, we'll sit over here as quiet as mice.
Yes, I want to finish reading your second installment anyhow.
And I want to read it again. It's so interesting.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Jane. What are you scowling at?
That's not scowling, that's thinking.
Oh, excuse me. Go ahead and think. Oh, you can take that paper out that I used there. Start a fresh piece of paper.
I will. You don't have to tell me how to use a typewriter. My goodness.
That's it.
Hush, Ace. Let her concentrate.
Let her, I dare.
What is this?
What is it, James?
What do you mean by writing a thing like this?
What did you write, eh?
Oh, I was just typing away. I didn't mean anything by what I was...
You didn't mean anything. Oh, no.
Well, what is it, Jane? Read it.
Jane says she's a story writer. So to write, we did compel her. She's no story writer. She's a storyteller. That has all the earmarks of a dirty dig. What do you mean by writing a thing?
Well, it looks like the jig's up. Jane has been exposed. But we learn more about that when next we meet the Easy Agent.